Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to cover the topic, the 5 tips for first-time homebuyers. Now, I'm going to start with one of the most important ones. Start with a budget. What's your budget? And what do I mean by that? Well, what can you afford monthly? That's key. Listen, you can go shopping for interest rates. You can call around and say, hey, I'm thinking about buying a home. But the truth is, it's all about payment. What can you afford monthly? So let's start there. In the next video, we're going to share with you how do you calculate how much home you can afford monthly. That's how banks look at you. I call it bank math. But what is that number? You can think of it now. How much do you pay for rent? And how much more would you want to pay for a mortgage payment? And from that, a banker can calculate how much home that is, taking into account taxes, insurance, all the parts that make up a mortgage. So when you start with a budget, start with what can you afford monthly. Number 2 of that is cash for down payment and any costs. What money have you saved to be able to buy a home? Listen, where I work right now, we have over 583 loan programs. Of those are 0 down loan programs. There are, 5%, 10%, 20% down, 15%, all different percentages that you can use, but different programs with different purposes. As a first-time homebuyer, sometimes, you have no funds, no money per se, and you are looking to purchase a home now. Or maybe you should wait until you have enough funds to purchase a home. And that would be for down payment and for closing costs. So those are key, right? Have you saved up that money? If you haven't, you might be able to lean on one of those programs that lets you buy a home. It's called down payment assistance in most cases. All right. Now, number 2 tip is get approved for a mortgage. All right. Let the expert do the math. Let us do the math for you. I've been in this industry for 20 years, and I created a system called letsplan.com where I literally can show a customer where they're on a web browser, we're speaking by phone, and I can show them exactly how much they can afford monthly. That's what we're going to show you in this next video. And how much home do you want to buy? At what stage are you buying in? Again, another video we'll talk about. But in this case, getting pre-approved for a mortgage means having a bank look at your records, making application with them, knowing the credit, just facing what it is about you, your income, your credit score, the important stuff, and how much money you set aside to buy a home. All right, number 3 of the 5 tips, prioritize your needs versus your wants. I see buyers do this all the time. They start the process of buying a home, first-time home buyers. And of course, we want a castle. We want the most amazing home. It could be modern. It could be older. It could be a French Tudor. Who knows? Whatever your taste is. But I would ask you to do this. What are the must-haves? Sit down for yourself if you're buying alone, but if you're buying with a spouse or a friend, then what are the must-haves between the two of you? The non-negotiables. Got to have this. Different size yard, maybe it has a place to work out or a shop, big kitchen, what are the must-haves? Then discuss what are the would-be great ifs, all right? And then you'll know, what are you looking for as you go house hunting? Now, number 4 of the 5 tips, work with an experienced professional. Yes, please. Well, how do you know their experience? Well, you can ask friends and family. You can look around. I would recommend interview. No matter who you talk to, interview that person. For 3 major pieces I think are the most important when you interview them. Number 1, ask them, how long have they been in the business? That's important. Do they have the experience? Are they well known? Right? They may have a reputation out there, and hopefully it's a good one. Number 2 of this is, how do they work with their buyers? Ask them, how do you work with your buyers? What is your process? That's when you'll learn whether they're more about themselves and what they perceive versus listening to you and finding out what you want and how they work with you, right? Interviewing you. I've seen plenty in this industry who say, I know what you need. I know what's good for you. Let me show you the trends of today. And they try to sell you on a home or the concept of a home versus listening to see what you want and finding out your must-haves and your would-be great ifs. All right. And finally, and I think this is that hidden way to interview someone, is I call it the bird of a feather fit. Talk to the person, listen to their answers. If they're a bird of a feather fit, meaning they're like you feel comfortable with them, then there's a high probability that when they help you buy a home, they're going to be looking for the same things that are important to you. Not only do they listen to you, but they get it. They get you because they're very much like you. So that would be a great person to work with. Find that bird of a feather fit. All right, now finally, number 5 of the 5 tips, be prepared for unexpected costs. All right, you saved up money. You have money for down payment. Maybe you have money for closing costs. But what unexpected costs could there be? Well, home inspections. When you buy a home, it's really advised that you get a home inspection. It's real important. That is a private inspection that you have done by an expert, home inspector, and that report is for your eyes only. Don't share it with anybody else but yourself. Don't share it with the bank, because if a bank sees that report, they have to react to everything that's cited in that report. If it's a loose doorknob or something, anything, they're going to say, ooh, we're going to have to ask that be done before we can fund this loan. So never share that with the bank. Keep it to yourself, but it's intended so that you can see, well, what do I have to fix next? Or are there unforeseen things? Is there a pest issue or mold issue? Things that you can't visibly see, or maybe were slightly hidden by the seller. You never know. So get a home inspection. That's one. You have moving costs. You're going to move. Who's going to move you? How will you move? I've done it numerous times, and in every case, I wish I'd hired someone to actually pack, but I pack every time. But it would have been great. The other is other costs that might come up with the purchase of the home. Now, normally you'll have closing costs. Those are normal fees to be able to close your loan. I call them state, local, and federal fees, things that you have to do, you have to pay for to get that done. Appraisal, title, escrow, these are named things that you would have. We're going to go over that in another video so you can see, well, what costs should I expect? But beyond that, could there be unforeseen costs? Yes, I've seen them. When a customer would buy a home, for example, and it has a propane tank, well, sometimes there's a lease for that propane tank. They don't own the tank. They're not transferring the tank to you. The seller isn't. They're leasing it. So suddenly a lease cost shows up, or a deposit for that lease. Another might be homeowners association. They will typically charge a fee, like an initiation fee, to process you as now the new owner of this home. And that fee could be 2, 3, sometimes 4 times the homeowner's dues monthly. So there can be some unexpected fees. Usually those will appear near closing when the escrow company reveals all the seller's costs, the costs that they may not have revealed to the bank or to us. We dig for it. We try to find every possible cost, but sometimes those costs don't even show up until near the end of the process when you're about to become the owner of the home. So those are the 5 tips for first-time homebuyers. I hope that was helpful. Please leave a comment. Love to hear your comments, see what else we can do to improve, but also what other topics you'd like to hear. And please watch my other videos. We're going to cover all the other parts. This is more of an educational piece, and I want you to walk empowered in your home buying process. Thank you so much. If you need to reach out to me, my contact information is down below, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. Bye-bye.